You're watching It's Life Live with your hosts, Juan Lee and Oliver Marcel. Come join us for enriching, enlightening, encouraging, and thought-provoking conversation. Let's go.
Hello, everybody. What's up, Oliver?
What's up? What's up?
How you
We're
doing?
back.
How you doing? Yes, we are. It's
We
great
are
feeling.
back.
Great to be here.
Yeah, good to be here. I'm good, man. I'm outside of some sinus stuff, man. I'm good.
All right.
Ready
Well,
for this conversation.
we're gonna make it through then.
We're gonna make it
Welcome
through.
everybody. Welcome everybody. This is It's Life Live by sponsored by Clear Journey, a nonprofit that supports individuals that are struggling or challenges in life that are looking for answers. And that's what we want to be, is your source for all things life. It's Life Live. Hopefully, if you're here, let us know that you're here. If you have not previously subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do it. It can really help us and support us in our mission to support you and everyone else that we can reach through our YouTube channel. Yeah, we're here. If you haven't subscribed, please do.
Yeah, and share this video. I'm telling you all that are watching to share this video, so I have to take my own advice. So I'm actually sharing it right now because I'm asking you to share. So go ahead and share this video so other folks in your network can see this as well.
Cool. And by all means, let's hear what you are thinking about and sharing your sharing any information about what we're talking about. But what we want to be here, and I just want to introduce and let you know about Clear Journey, because Clear Journey has no other reason and meaning than wanting to be able to support our community. And that is in every area of your life, whether it's your finances, your relationships, your career, your health, self-improvement, organization, humanity, just in understanding how we exist with one another. We want to be your one-stop shop. So we want you to come and be a part of our community. So by all means, subscribe to our channel. I know if you're on LinkedIn, a lot of you all were on LinkedIn. By all means, go over to our YouTube channel and subscribe, give us the like, because we're here to help you, really help you. And I want you all to be involved. Let us know what you're thinking. If it's something that we can do to help, that's what we're here for. It's not anything else. It's to help you become your very best at who you are. Tonight, we're going to be talking about one of those areas that we refer to, and that is our career and employment. And that's what we've been doing all this month. And that's where we came up with the title of professional and non-professional, and how we allow that to divide us, especially in the workplace, when we can really begin to use that as something that we can build on instead of something that can divide us, because it's really something that it's a business designation. It's not really about the individual. Mm-hmm. It's about the business designation. And I don't know if there's many of you who understand the designation that the businesses have to follow as it relates to the non-professional versus the professional. And so we're going to start off with just that bit of information. I don't know if many of you know, and if you've been working with a company, on your pay stub or somewhere in your agreement, you've been designated as exempt or non-exempt.
Okay.
And it's through that non-exempt or exempt status is that determines whether or not you are perceived as a professional or a non-professional.
Okay.
And it's because of, this a designation came about as a result of the post um what was it I told you? It was post, what was the post time? 1932. It was the time where we were in a very bad place in the country. And after that, the Great Depression, 1932, the Great Depression. And Congress came out with a law in 1938. It was called the FLSA, and it basically stands for Fair Labor Standard Act. And in that Standard Act, it was to be able to protect the laborers, because businesses was really taking advantage of the laborers after that. And it was to the point where no one was making a living. Everybody in the home had to work, including the children. And so this act was created to protect and give some protection to the laborers from the businesses that were taking advantage of them. And so it was created in 1938. And it was in that area that they put this designation in, as it relates to unexempt versus exempt. The exempt is for professionals, and the non-exempt is for non-professionals. What does that mean? The law that they put into place established an hourly wage and an overtime wage. And that was so that they just couldn't work you 14, 15 hours a day and pay you nothing. They had to pay you overtime for a minimum wage. And so that was something that they gave this designation to determine whether people were non-professional versus professional.
Okay.
And so let's define that. A professional, they say, you basically are somebody who you come prepared with some advanced education.
Okay.
Versus a non-professional is a person who basically is on-the-job training. And I know that's an issue right now because of where technology has taken us, considering that that's been almost 80 years, more than that, 80 years since that law was passed. But now being a non-professional, hey, that means something totally different now than it did then. What do you think?
Yeah, it's interesting because as you were talking about that, I looked up the FLSA and just looking at that, and it's interesting because if I think about when I was in the corporate space, I would it would be tough to classify me because I was a salaried employee. So that puts me on one side of the category, but I didn't go to school for what I was doing. So like now, what am I? Who am I?
but again, think about it. Who's this about? This is about businesses, right? This is about the business.
True. You did say it's about businesses, right?
Guess who took advantage, got the upper hand of that situation? You're salaried, right? But you on call.
And that's where I was going with that, because the other side of that is was it the non-exempt?
Yep.
Are the folk who have the salary? No, I mean,
no,
I have the hourly wage.
They get the overtime.
And they get the overtime, right? So it's actually to their advantage to be that, because
absolutely,
if they want to work 15, 16, 18 hours, they're going to get some extra money. Me, and this is a real world experience that I'm about to share with you. Me, who works a quote unquote 8:30 to 5:30, and it has never been an 8:30 to 5:30 unless I actually decided I wanted to leave early that day. I have been on calls at 11:30 at night. I remember being on a call in the corporate space on 11:30 at night. Now, if I was the non-exempt person, I'd have been happy on that call because I'm like,
Absolutely.
this gonna be a good week. It's gonna be a good week.
And
But
that's
I'm not getting nothing extra for that.
and that's the difference in understanding who got the upper hand. Because guess what? If they hire your person that knows that they're going to be on call as an exempt employee, the business getting over, because guess what? They can check you, and as far as the expenses that they're going to incur for every month, overhead is locked.
Yep, that's
and
right.
They can use you like
Yeah, that's crazy, bro.
Again, the power that I'm referring to now is in the knowledge of understanding some people calling you one thing and treating you as something else. Okay? They call you a professional and then treat you as a non-professional. And you can tell it by your non-exemption status.
Now, where do you go, just for the sake of education and information? Where do you go to see that designation? Like, how can you find out?
HR would tell you exactly what your job description, because that's how it's categorized. It has to be categorized in one or two areas.
Gotcha.
When you categorize your employer, you got to put them in one or two areas. And the federal government is basically saying to you, how are you using this person? Are they a professional, or are they a non-professional? And here's the point. If you don't question it, they're not going to question it. That's the issue here. If what you don't know, business is just found like another loophole. I'll call you a professional and treat you like a doggone non-professional.
So, and this may be getting way ahead of where we're going, but is there a way to challenge your classification?
They have to reclassify the job.
Got you. Which I would imagine is not a simple process.
No. But that's where the issue is, because see, they're going to push back on that requalification. If they're a business and they got you locked in as a professional and treating you like a non-professional, they're gonna push back on that at every opportunity they can, because
that has implications to their bottom line.
Absolutely. I'm getting more work out of you at a locked in set cost if you are a professional and a not exempt than you are if you're non-exempt, because now I'm paying you on overtime time and a half. We've got to be more intentional in understanding what we're doing, and you got to understand, when your period of your 8 hours of time is up, if you are a professional, you out the door. You can't get no overtime. And that's the thing that many of us don't realize, and unfortunately, it then looks back on our character going like, okay, you can't work in it. Hold on. Let's go to where it really talks. You want me to work overtime? Then where does it say I do that? What is the classification of my job? Is it exempt or non-exempt? Conversation is everything. You talk to your boss and your supervisor and you let them know, am I exempt or non-exempt?
Yeah, bro. And that's such good information for those that are watching the replay, because now you have some knowledge and some terminology that you can then now be proactive in your pursuit of employment, knowing, showing them that what's happening and here's what needs to happen, kind of thing. And so I think that would be helpful. I would imagine that would be helpful even when negotiating in terms of what your pay is going to be and what your assignment is going to entail and that kind of thing.
Well, that really starts in if you're a professional versus a non-professional, because non-professional, they say, okay, this is the job, this is the cost, this is the price. Okay. Now professionals say, look, I'm bringing something to the table. Now I can negotiate.
Right.
It's just understanding, once you make that negotiation, that they don't treat you like a non-employee, a non-professional.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And unfortunately, people's integrity says, I'm gonna do the job until it's done, just like you did.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do the job until it gets done. Then pay me like that. Because be respectful of my time. And that's a little bit of what we're going to talk about tonight, a little bit, is to understanding the differences between the two.
Okay.
Because and how you manage and understand it. What's important to you. You get to determine what's important to you. But understand what it is. If they don't tell you what the classification of the job is, you've got to ask, okay, is this an exempt job or a non-exempt job?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the terminology that they know. They understand, or that they should know that.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't,
that's
on
you
you.
probably don't want to work there.
Yeah. But
Your
again,
HR don't know HR terminology. Yeah, that's a
yeah.
problem.
but that's it. So let's talk about the differences between them, and we're just going to run through them real quick. But here's what at the end of the day, what we're talking about is you getting to be able to take control over what's important to you, because that's what we're going to talk about. These are the differences, and then what's important to you. In the past, the number one thing it talks about is education and training. Professionals typically have a degree, advanced degrees, and some type of certification, versus a non professional. It's very high school diploma and a vocational school, or on the job training. Okay. Now, in this day and time, do you want that designation? Because that designation costs you something right here.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the thing that a lot of people are dealing with today in our society, is that going to college, taking $150,000 debt out the box to go to college. That's on the high side, but I mean, it's still whatever it is. If it's 60,000,
you're about right. In some cases, it's a lot more than that.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, but at that point, and then here's the point: you get the degree and the things that you go to school for, and then don't find a job in the area in which you want, that you did it in. So then where's that advanced degree and training that you're going to go in? It's just like you OJT, and now,
yeah,
I mean, you done got the money, and now you done spent the money, and now you're doing something that is not even within the degree that you have.
Totally different. Yep. That's a lot of people's story, including my own.
Yeah. And so what I'm saying is that you now have the position to understand, is that what I want? Do I want to be in that debt to hold that designation? Versus now in the day where you have non-employees, non-professionals. One of the next ones here talks about compensation. Non-professionals compensation. I think compensation is something that is really beginning to be very balanced as it relates to professional and non-professional, if you desire and continue to grow in your non-professional career path.
Yeah.
And that's basically the difference between these both professions, or non-professional and professional. They're both career paths. They require growth in both of them.
Yeah.
It's just which one do you want to do it, and at what cost? At what cost? Those that are, and you all are in the comments, you're here listening. If you have comments or some experiences about this, let us know. Put it in the comments. Let us know what it is you feel about being a professional versus a non-professional. What are you? Are you a professional?
It'd be cool to hear from some HR folks as well, man. Like if you're an HR person and you happen to be watching the replay, would love to get your input on that as well. And I would love to hear from an HR professional's perspective. How would they coach someone who is how would they career coach someone as it regards to this topic?
Well, I mean,
that would be interesting.
I be honest with you. I think this is where the person begins to take control of their career and then begin to balance what's important based on, and not allowing our society to divide us. Because at the end of the day, whether you're a professional or unprofessional, or not unprofessional, but non-professional, we all on the same team. We got people in organizations that are professionals, and we have people in organizations that are non-professional. They're in different career paths, but together the organization needs each one of them, each one of those paths. And I give you an example. My path, and I'll be honest with you, my path has been a non-professional path, straight out of high school into the military. And the military exemplifies these two paths, these professional and non-professional paths. You got officers, which are called, commissioned officers. That's a path in the military. And then you have enlisted that they progress into a non-commissioned officer path. Okay. Both of them are necessary, but they're different paths. And together we have a mission that's essential, that both paths are operating at a very high level, so that the mission, the total package, or the objective of what we're here to do is accomplished. That's no different than any other business. All businesses are basically the same. You have what they call leaders, team leaders. You have people that are dictating the direction that we're going. And then you have those that need to carry out the mission of how we're getting there.
Right.
That's the difference between professional paths and non-professional paths. But they both are very important. It's which one do you want?
Which one? Yeah. Which one do you want? And understanding that as much as many of us try to make this a thing, one is not better than the other. And I think that sometimes is where we muddy the waters in terms of helping people make decisions around career guidance and that kind of thing. To make one person feel like to choose a particular path is a second option, so to speak, or a lesser option, or a last resort, or a this is all you can do kind of thing, because then it puts a stigma on those paths. And I tell people all the time, those same paths that you put stigmas on, if everybody in the world who did that were to disappear in the next 30 seconds, the world was shut down.
You're absolutely right.
So what does that say for their importance?
Well, again, I think one of the things that I was trying to stress during the pandemic was that who was the essential personnel that were out there working when everybody else was locked down? They would 80% of them were what we would call non-professional.
Non-professional, yeah.
But again, a lot of people were talking about, now granted, I ain't taking nothing away from them, the medical career, the medical profession. Now they were in direct conflict with the disease, the COVID-19. And so they was actually in it up to their elbows. Okay. But the trash still need to be picked up. The mail still need to be delivered. The packages still need to be delivered. These are the people that were out there mixing it up with everybody. These were essential personnel, police officers, fire department. These are the people that was just as essential to our survival economically
Yep.
And even our survival, even as a human being, a human species, we needed the doctors, the medical field, but we
Mhm.
also needed all of those other additional
Yep.
professionals that kept us alive and keeping things going. Truck drivers. You think
Mhm.
about how your groceries made it to the doggone grocery store, that you were able to call Uber Eats to send you some food. These are the things,
Yeah.
these are the things, we needed people to allow us to be locked down.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a good point because as we're talking about, especially coming on the heels of last week's conversation, we're talking about looking at ways to progress and looking at career paths that you want to choose, um, identifying things that you are good at and that you're interested in, and all of the other things, right? Don't, and I know this is hard to say for a lot of people, right? Because it's hard to, what I'm about to say is hard to say because we're told to chase the bag, and sometimes the bag doesn't really align with those categories, depending on what they are. That's starting to shift too. That's another conversation. But what I was going to say is don't shy away from things that you're interested in because they are um, classified as non-professional. If you love to, I don't know, what's a non-professional job off the top of your head? Like
Look, firemen,
if you love to,
truck
right?
drivers,
If you,
police
and you
officers.
know what's crazy about the truck driving thing is that now it's becoming popular.
Absolutely.
You got all these folk popping up with trucking companies. And
Yep.
the ones who aren't popping up with trucking companies, they're showing you how to do it independently, how
Mm-hmm.
to use cargo vans and pickup trucks and all kinds of other vehicles to do these runs. I got a buddy in Detroit who uses an app, and I'm not going to say the app because they ain't giving us no money, but he uses an app that allows him to go pick up items, deliver them to the other folk, and get money.
Mm-hmm. I mean, come on now. Look, there's people out here using their automobiles.
Hmm.
Hey, these are ways and people are making money nowadays. It's just being able to be resourceful.
Right, right.
There is, look, if you ain't making any money today, it's because you don't want to make any money. There's ways to do it,
Hmm.
and feel good about yourself as being, excuse me, as being resourceful enough to be able to make things happen for yourself. It's not about I need to get a job. I need somebody to, no. I go out here and get what I want.
Hmm.
I can go out here and do, and I don't have to be 70, 80, $100,000 in debt to be able to make it happen.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Again, one of the things it talks about is prestige.
Mm.
If you're one of those who want to be carried in such a high esteem,
Hmm.
I'm not saying anything's wrong with it. I'm just saying that's what it is.
Right.
It is what it is. If that's what you want, that works for you,
Yeah. Go for it.
that there you go. But don't
Yeah.
let that, but here's what I think what most of us do is we, like you say, we go running chasing the bag.
Hmm.
And we've been programmed to think that the way to get that bag is through the professional
Hmm.
designation.
Yeah. And listen, the pandemic actually has showed us something that we are, that was always there, but it's shown a light on it. Is the non-professional stuff. Folk are making a whole lot more money. I mean, look at how many YouTubers came out of the pandemic. Look how
Mm-hmm.
many. I think about this guy, man, who got people knew about a lot. Not a lot of people knew about him, but he really catapulted his exposure. The guy who was bringing the DJ that was bringing in artists and having and performing the songs virtually with the artists.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
online.
Yeah.
They were doing it. Yeah. Well, I
You know,
can't
just
remember.
things like that that just popped up all over the place. Look at all the
Hmm.
folk that got big on TikTok. Look at all the folk who, you know what I'm saying? So there's ways now. It's almost like those designations, you know, you can blow them out of the water. You got the 20 something to 30 something crew. That's some of those folk not even looking at career paths that would land them in the C-suite level, you know, because the amount of time that it would take for them to get to the C-suite level, they're getting to that amount of money in a fraction of that amount of time.
Yeah.
So,
Without the incurring the budget,
right.
the debt.
Hmm.
I mean, look, the professional designation is always going to be needed,
Indeed.
but at the same time, as so is the non-professional designation. Also, again, this is a business designation,
Hmm.
and it was meant to govern the way in which businesses manage their businesses fairly with their employees. Because whether you're a professional or you're a non-professional, they're both jobs that businesses have to begin to manage and their bottom line.
Right.
And so understand that it's not something, and what we've made it out as being something that's to divide us as employees,
Hmm.
instead of it's about the business. It's
Yeah.
not about the employees.
And I would imagine too, it in the beginning, it was a way to even the playing field, because if you had a professional that was making, say, you have a professional that's making $100,000 and they're working 40 hours a week, and you got a non-professional that is, you know, working 40 hours a week and they making 30,000 a year. Now, giving them overtime would allow them, they might not get to 100, but it would allow them to at least bring the scale up a little bit, right? But then over
Yeah,
time, what was happening now was the flip. You got the guy who's making $100,000 a year, but he working 90 hours a week. You know what I mean? Like, and he ain't getting nothing else. You know, so it really, you know, as many things do, and I'm not saying this in a negative light, but this is the truth. As many things do, the pendulum you know, swings all the way to the other side.
hmm, yeah. I mean, at this, the thing is that um, just being educated and understand your position as an employee.
Hmm.
Again, this is talking about career and employees. Being knowledgeable and understanding where you position yourself within an organization. The key thing is to understand, first of all, what's your designation. Once you get your designation, then you understand how the business has to view you, how they have to manage you, how they have to protect you. And then if you don't know that, you can't hold them accountable.
Hmm.
Because as you say, I mean, as your example was, a lot of, if they can hire you as a professional and pay you as and work you as a non-professional,
Hmm.
that's a designation that they're not going to stop you.
No, no, that's a come up for them.
They're not going to stop you.
Yeah.
If you don't tell them, no, can't do it. That doesn't fall within my designation. I wouldn't want you not to hold me, in the right qualification. Don't make me work outside of how you've qualified me.
Hmm.
But here's the thing: the commonality between the jobs are, and this is where they really get you, is because the work ethic. You know, as it relates to a career path,
Hmm.
if you want to excel in it, you're going to have good work ethics. Whether you're a professional, non-professional, you're going to have a good work ethic. You're going to be a team player.
Hmm.
Um, you're going to communicate. You're going to have good communication skills. You're going to be willing to problem solve. Those are going to be things that you both have in common.
Hmm.
You're going to be your ability to relate to customers If you want to progress, you're going to have those skills also. You're going to be able to adhere to policies and procedures on both sides. These are the things that we have in common. We're going to have adaptability. We're going to be able to have to adapt to circumstances and situations as they occur on our day-to-day, both of us, professionals and non-professional. These are things that we have to do. We have to have good time management. You know, when it comes to being a good time on work, get the work on time. I don't care if you're a professional or non-professional. If you ain't there, you can't be doing the work. Then we're going to be wanting to develop, and then also, be healthy and be conscious of safety and health areas within the organization. Typically, most businesses, one of their biggest things is safety. No matter what the job is, you've got to, whether it's the person mopping the floor, the person is coming out the cafeteria after getting a cup of coffee. If you don't understand that that floor is slick, and that's a hazard for the professional and the non-professional.
Right. Yep.
So these are all of the things that they have in common, and the purpose of this particular episode is to know that you get to determine what it is that you want out of your career path, and whether it's going to be something that is. But here's the point: you have to have the passion for it, whether it's to be a professional or a non-professional. If it's okay to be in either one of them, not to say that I need to be in one or the other, but either one of them is fine if that's what your passion is. They in some of the stuff that I researched, they were talking about the professionals have a passion, but that's not true. Non-professionals can have passions.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing that we need to understand, that it's important that we all have that passion to be able to accomplish the mission of that which is bigger than any one thing that we're doing. Because guess what? I don't care what level or what degree you carry into a position. The thing that I was very interesting when I was in the military, you had doctors, you had lawyers, you had, all these high officers that had degrees, but their jobs they had pilots. Their jobs needed the enlisted. They couldn't do their job without us.
Right.
It was like, I'd never forget. I mean, as being in the Air Force, it was like the pilots were the officers. Those are the ones that went downrange into harm's way. Plane come back, we do what we do. If the plane don't come back, we can't do nothing. But it was us that we supported that pilot in its job, going to do what it did, what he has or she had to do. So we were a team.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing I'm, basically trying to share with everybody here, is that no matter what role you play, it's important.
It's important.
Professional or non-professional.
That's like trying to designate level of importance to a body part.
Very good example.
Like, I can't be like, oh yeah, my ear, it ain't no big deal. The hand, that's the big deal. Okay, cut the ear off. Let's see.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Talk to me then about that.
Let's see what you hear next.
Right.
What do you hear next? I mean, you're absolutely right. That is a perfect example. And I think that's the message I think that we want to get across to people, is that you're important no matter where you fall in that professional or non-professional category. They both have career paths that, as long as you continue to grow, there's a place for you to be able to reach the things that bring fulfillment to you in your life. I mean, you think about musicians, you think about artists, they put the time in and the time in and the time in, but as they love to do what they do, whether they have a song on the top 20, it really doesn't matter. they're doing what they love to do.
Yep.
They will do whatever they need to do that allows them to do the things that they love to do.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as they're doing that, I think that allows us to identify our passions when
Yeah.
we'll do it for free, but we're working towards getting paid for it.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
There's a verse that says, your gift will make room for you. So if you're passionate about it and it's something you would do, continue to push, continue
Yeah.
to learn, continue to grow, continue to get better. And it's, that the natural organic trajectory is that you will continue to move forward.
Yeah. I mean, that's the whole thing. And that's the message of today as it relates to the career or the path of employment, is that have the passion, and do what you are passionate about.
Mm-hmm.
And don't let designations dictate to you what you're passionate about.
Yep.
Don't Especially today, you don't have to chase the bag to be a professional to chase the bag. There's many ways in both categories, both career paths, that can accomplish all of the things that you desire to do in your life.
Yeah, that's good.
um Any questions? Anybody has a question or concern, let us know. We're here. That was information that we wanted to share, and hopefully someone got something, if it's on the hearing it here live or on the recording. Send us a message. Let us know it's something that you heard that resonated. Also, if it's something that you want us to talk about as it relates to this career and employment thing, we've been doing it a while. Have a little bit of insight as it relates to it. We're desiring, and what we're looking to do is to bring some professionals on that are in this area before the end of the year that can really add some value to what it is that this career, and help you navigate this particular area of your life a little bit better. So hopefully we'll have some guests on. We have a couple more shows the rest of this year, but we're working to see if we can get some. Next year, we're looking to have more guests on starting in the new year also. So be prepared for that. We're looking forward to that. But Oliver, let people know where they can catch you and see more about you.
Absolutely. You can catch me on social media. If you look at right next to my name, there is the handle at Denali LLC. You can also email me at oliver@denali.org. Would love to connect with you as an author, speaker, and coach in the relationship building and men's enrichment spaces. I'm just looking to help people just build and maintain their dream relationship. So if that's something you want to do, come talk to me.
Hey, that's great. And also, I'm Juan Lee. I'm the founder of Clear Journey. And if you want to learn more about Clear Journey, go over to clearjourney.org. We have some information on the 8 areas that we support you on. And again, like this month, it's all about career and employment, because we see that as a vital part of preparation for this journey called life. It's going to be something in your employment or education, or your employment or career, that's going to establish your ability to make your dreams happen. And so this is something that we really don't think about too much. We talk about it, but we don't see that it connects to everything that we do. And how we do it is to being able to generate revenue so that we can do the things that we want to do in life, where we don't need to depend on someone else, but we're able to make plans and decisions based on our skill set and the things that we know that we can do on a regular basis, because that's really our confidence, is in the ability of understanding nobody else is going to be able to dictate to me, because I'm working within my skills, my abilities. No matter what someone else says, I know that I can do it. And that's really what the IT has done, or the internet has done for a lot of us, is giving us opportunities to be creative and dictate our own course, our own path for our future.
Mhm.
So, not to take anything away from any career path, but just be true to the one that you're on.
Yeah.
That's the message, I guess, for tonight.
Awesome.
If you want to catch up with me, you can catch me at Juan Lee, the author. No, I take that back. I am an author. I have a book called Love Made Simple. If you want to support Clear Journey, you can go by and pick up one of those books that can really help us also. So the book is called Love Made Simple, The Guide to Inner Peace, Contentment, and Success. And so that's something that you can do to support us if it's you're hearing this and seeing this podcast. So that's about it. If it's something that you want to know or hear about us, you can always look there and go info@ Clear Journey, and I will get back to you. That's how you can reach me. So anything closing words there, Oliver?
No, I think it's a good conversation. Just listen, identify what your passion is and your purpose, and as such seek out your path. Allow your path to be determined by your passion and purpose, not by a classification that you think will make you better than somebody else.
Yeah. Well, all right. Until next time, I get you. We can't change life, but we can help you navigate it. That's our saying here, and we look forward to seeing you next time, next Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. So until then, we'll see you then.
Later.